Welcome along to the Spotlight Lounge here at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre. Jason Forrest and Milk Bar Podcast with you, alongside Scott Bird from the marketing team.
Hello.
And we are talking Panto today.
Oh yes, we are.
Because it's March, so obviously it's Panto season. Well, we've just had all the Panto awards after everybody's Panto finished, sometimes in February. Mm-hmm. So that's all sort of come to a close. We are also looking at the excitement of next year. So lots to come, and some familiar faces on the screen behind us.
Yeah, so here is, I feel like a weatherman, here is our Pantocast for Jack and the Beanstalk 2017-2018, and of those 5 faces, 4 of them you'll recognise from last year, and 1 of them you should recognise anyway. But we have got Ian Adams is returning to play the Dame. Then, skipping 1, we've got Lisa Riley, who is going to be playing the Fairy this year. Then Doreen Tipton is back. She's going to be playing herself, just because getting into character it's a lot of effort.
Yeah,
it's a lot of effort for her, bless her. And then Adam C. Booth is back as the sort of comedy sidekick. And then Gareth Gates, who probably needs no introduction,
Not really,
playing Jack.
Absolute star, and Jack and the Beanstalk, great story, and there is Jack himself, and they must love posing for all these pictures as well, because it's this time of year they have to get into costume and get everything sorted out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So as soon as we get into February, it's like, right, come on, get into your costume. And
names have been named across the country, but I think Wolverhampton, once again, a fantastically strong lineup. Everyone was so excited by last year, they really enjoyed it, and they know that Adam C. Booth, who didn't even get on the poster last year, and I think that was a little bit of a travesty, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Adam was great and was loved by everyone, and last year we sort of had our celebrity Panto cast lineup on the poster, and we actually got lots of people coming to us at the end of the show with the leaflet going, where is Adam C. Booth on this, because we loved him. So this year we listened, we got him back, and he will be on the poster. Yeah,
but Gareth looking resplendent, and this is going to be his first time in Wolverhampton in Panto, isn't it?
Yeah, well, not only in Panto, I think in Wolverhampton ever. Like, he's toured in Les Miserables, the musical, and he's toured in Footloose. Neither of them have visited us, sadly, but now the people of Wolverhampton do get to experience Gareth on stage.
And obviously it's been well over a decade since he was Pop Idol, wasn't he?
Yeah, Pop Idol, the first series, I think.
We're going back that far.
Yeah.
But you were still a big fan then?
Yeah.
But it should be great to see him in Panto here. Then, who else do we have in the lineup? There we go, the wonderful Lisa Riley. I mean, she was lovely last year, and of course back all over the TV with Loose Women and documentaries and everything else that's going on. And such a hard worker.
Yeah, Lisa is the loveliest person. We knew that she would be last year anyway, but when she finally got here to Wolverhampton, I think everybody here in the theatre fell in love with Lisa. She is, she won't mind me saying this, she's the nana of the cast, and everybody knows that. Everybody calls her nana, and she is really. She looks after everyone. She's such a sort of motherly figure, but she's a lot of fun as well.
And obviously a really good giggle when we got to do our Panto Facebook Live as well, so fingers crossed we can get her involved next time around.
I'm sure she will.
And she was such good for the press launch too, so it's going to be great to see her back. Okay, who is next on our big screen?
Who's next, drum roll, please? It is Ian.
Now, Ian, absolute veteran of being a Panto Dame, and couldn't you tell that last year?
Yeah. I mean,
best legs on stage.
Yeah, it has been said.
And some of the most risque costumes you've seen.
Yeah. Ian is. What's great about Ian is he manages to combine the sort of modern costumes and the modern sort of fun of pantomime, but what he does is he really sort of harks back to the old days of traditional pantomime. And I think he said that his pantomime sort of idol was Jack Tripp, and he sort of channels Jack in his Dame. And what Ian is able to offer is just a sort of years of sort of honing his pantomime Dame, and he's got so much experience, and he's a lovely guy as well, so it's great to have Ian back. And
somebody who enjoyed the Panto so much they are back again this year is our next person on screen here. You can tell she's enjoying it, can't you?
She's thrilled.
It was the skips that kept her going in the dressing room, I think.
Yeah, we had a constant supply of skips, and
It's amazing what snacks can do to keep someone like that going. But, looking glamorous as ever in that lovely outfit.
So last year Doreen played the Empress of China.
And she did get some proper glamour then.
She did. She was head to toe in gold lame, wasn't she? And she had fun, I think. But this year she sort of said, if I'm going to come back, I can't be doing all that. She went the effort, just to get into that costume.
Do the accent for me as well.
Oh, I'm not sure I could do that.
You're too well spoken, aren't you? But again, Doreen was so popular, and in fact, an award winner in her own right.
Yeah. She did so well. She went down so well that. Ta-da! 2 Sundays ago, this is Adrian Jackson, our chief executive.
It's important to point out here that the fella on the end is there for a reason.
Yeah, that's not Ian out of costume. That is Adrian Jackson, our chief executive.
I don't know that you may point out the likeness. I'm sure we can have a word.
Yeah, and Doreen was invited down to the Theatre Caf or Theatre Cafe, probably we should say, in London, Shaftesbury Avenue. And if you haven't been there, it is stunning. It's this sort of really cute little cafe opposite the Queen's Theatre, which is where Les Miserables is. And there's probably about sort of 10 tables. You're lucky to get a seat because it's so popular. And this year they played host to the Pantomime Awards, the Great British Pantomime Awards, which is the first time they've ever been done. There's this group of guys who love Panto, they're mad about Panto, and they're really, really passionate about the art form, which isn't really recognised in the Olivier Awards or any of the other sort of theatre awards. So.
And yet when you look at it, it's a thing that keeps a lot of theatres going throughout the whole year. If it wasn't for Panto, obviously the Grand is much more fortunate with the type of touring shows and the fantastic one-night events that you have on here, but there are some of the smaller theatres who just wouldn't be able to cope without Panto. Yeah,
no, it's true. I mean, some theatres are sort of programming, and I think it's true for a lot of theatres, you sort of program sometimes and you don't really make a profit from these shows, and sometimes Panto is what's so successful and what gets people coming through the doors, and like you say, keeps us able to sort of program the ballets and the operas and the sort of more sort of arty forms of theatre.
Yeah, some things that make and again, it's making that sort of thing accessible that gets people into it, and they may not realise they like ballet until they actually turn on to see one.
Yeah, it's true. I was exactly.
I wouldn't have said so until I actually went along and saw some stage. Watching it on telly as a kid, it was a big turn off.
Yeah.
But when you see it live and you see what goes on, it's amazing. And again, that's part of the magic of Panto, because it does draw people into live theatre. And when you've got someone like Doreen and the character there, and of course stood next to her, Christopher Biggins, who is again another veteran of Panto. And she got best newcomer, and she stood next to somebody who's been there and done every single Panto several times.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Biggins actually picked up the Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that. I'm sure it was the sort of recognising his career. And there he is with his award, and Doreen's got hers. You can see again, she was thrilled to be there. She did make the effort just to go to London just to pick that up.
And I think the effort was putting those earrings on. That was really bad. So, let's take a look at our next snapshot, because this is the gentleman we were talking a little bit about earlier on. It is Adam Seabooth, and so popular, loved by the kids. They thought he was amazing, and it takes something to be able to be that silly on stage and get away with it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he did.
He did. He absolutely did. Adam is he's going to be playing Simple Simon this year, which is Jack's brother. He played Wishy Washy last year, which is Aladdin's brother. It's always the same sort of role, just a different costume, different name, but they always provide the fun. And Adam went down particularly well last year. I mean, the children love him because he just is so silly, but he's so warm and he's so lovely. And the adults, you might recognise him from the Keith Lemon sketch show. We had a lot of people going, "Oh my God, that's Ant or that's Dec." They do the Ant and Dec sketch.
And no one can ever tell which one's which anyway.
No, he plays one of them in the Keith Lemon sketch show. So he works with Keith Lemon all year round, and he's also been in musicals, and he's sort of no stranger to the stage.
And he can dance as well, which was the bit that amazed everybody.
Dance.
And again, as we made him dance on Facebook Live, which we did with the whole cast, he was really, really good. And we can only expect that he's going to be as brilliant this year in the Panto as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having Adam back.
And obviously, we can't go without giving a quick plug to the gentleman who's just come off stage here tonight, because you've got another performance from one of last year's Panto cast. He's off somewhere else next year, probably tending the garden as Mr. Bloom. But of course, you have Mr. Bloom on stage, and there's another performance tomorrow. Yeah,
so in Aladdin, Ben Fawkes, who plays Mr. Bloom, played PC Ping Pong. And again, he went down really well in our Panto, but he is back right now. So there's only one more performance, and that's tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. So if you are a bit spontaneous and you want to sort of come along and see Mr. Bloom, the vegetables, we've got Margaret the cabbage, we've got Sebastian the aubergine. Let's see if I can remember them all. We've got
Colin. Your favourite?
Yeah, Sebastian's my favourite. He's on my desk at the moment. We've got Colin the runner bean. We've got Joan the fennel. And we've got the Wee McGregors. Look at that, I remember them all.
You did well there.
Mm-hmm.
You
They're only here for one more performance at 10:30.
After Sebastian, I was confused, so there we go. But I mean, that's good fun. And if you're looking at family entertainment, Gangster Granny is on stage from Wednesday through to Sunday. Various performances of that, including a British Sign Language interpreted as well on Sunday. So lots of great accessible theatre. And from what Jilly, who is the granny in that, tells me, David Williams says it's better than the book. And I know my nephew Zach just finished reading the book, and he's coming along on Wednesday night, and he's very much looking forward to seeing the show and seeing it all live.
Yes.
So that should be really, really good. So
and I've just heard that there's a really disappointed butternut squash that I left him out of the list.
Sorry.
So we've got Raymond the butternut squash. He's here as well. Okay. So if you are a Raymond fan, that's in Mr. Bloom, not Gangster Granny.
Although you never know, they could run off and
well, I don't know. They might want to stay here and be part of Gangster Granny. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Sebastian's there looking on your desk. So
yeah,
when you think of that,
he is. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Scott, always good to talk to you.
You too.
Great to have a catch up on Panto. What's the start date? Go on, give it. What's the curtain up?
Don't do this to me. I think it's the 10th of December. Yes, it is. It's the 10th of December.
And it runs right the way through until January.
January the 14th.
He knows that bit. So
I know that
bit. But if you want to find out all the details of that one and any show, grandtheatre.co.uk is your website. The box office 01902 429212. Have a chat with the friendly staff. They'll sort you out. Or just nip in and even buy cake and tea and coffee.
Yeah.
Cheers.